All right, awesome. So first and foremost, I'd like to introduce the AWS user group, Nigeria, to all of us. If you joined it the first time, welcome. And if you already a member, welcome back. Thank you very much. So the user group is AWS user group, and the group has been existing for a while, and we have a plethora of different focus. So one of the focus is educational based focus meetup, designed for tech enthusiasts of all levels, whether you are seasoned pro or just starting your cloud journey. We offer a supportive environment where you can learn, grow, and also connect with fellows ANOG members. We call them ANOG members. And so one of our focus is educational focus meetup. So we do in-depth session like this or workshop. You get valuable insight from, AWS expert, cloud engineer, DevOps, think of it, security, hands-on demo, workshop, name it, collaborative spirit. So you share knowledge, tackle challenges together, and build lasting connection like minded individuals. So a lot of people, so we have WhatsApp groups, we have other groups that people do ask different questions. People run into issues, challenges. It's an open platform. People can come in and post their question. We also had the success stories of people passing the AWS certification exam. No matter your background or skill set, you guarantee a warm welcome and chances that people are willing to help you. It's a very supportive community. So we encourage everyone to participate. If you're not participating, you can start participating, and also, show your skills, show your expertise, so other people can benefit from it. So join us and unlock the potential of the cloud. All right. So I'm going to post the WhatsApp, the social media, our social media handle groups later on in the chat so people can see it if you haven't. So I'm going to post it shortly. And while we're talking about it, I'm not going to do the best job in introducing our guest speaker. His name is Lunga Zonke. He's a cloud architect, senior solution architect for AWS. And he has a plethora experience. He's a well-versatile in different AWS services, and he's going to be doing a wonderful job today. Without further ado, I'm going to take it over to Lunga. You can further introduce yourself more. I know, like I said, I'll probably not do a better job in introducing you more than yourself, so please take it away.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Akim. And hello, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much all for joining today. Appreciate your joining. So welcome to part two. So there was part one of the event, and now we are in part two of the reInvent recap. Apologies, I'm just trying to minimize this. Thank you. All right, so thanks for the introductions. My name is Lunga Zonke. I'm a solutions architect with AWS. I've been with AWS for about 2.5 years now. Essentially, I work with a number of customers across sub-Saharan Africa. We help those customers migrate their workloads into the AWS cloud, as well as modernize workloads that are already running in AWS, right? All right, so today's session, we've got a bit of a packed agenda, right? I know this is a lot, right? But that's because we launched quite a lot of stuff at reInvent last year. But I also know that we covered a lot in part one of this event. So I'll only be covering the services that were not covered in part one of the reInvent recap, right? So today we're going to go through I think 1 or 2 announcements around GenAI. We're going to look at the announcements around the developer tools, then touch on CI/CD and DevOps announcements. Then we'll talk about a few announcements around systems management as well as cloud operations. Then we'll look at storage announcements, some database announcements, and then we'll close off with 2 other announcements, right? So yeah, without further ado, let's get going. But before we kick off, I see it's not a big group today, so welcome all questions. I mean, if you have a question, please feel free to interrupt. Let's make this as conversational as possible, right? Okay, so as I've said, I'll kick off with some GenAI announcements, all right? And the first announcement I'll talk about with GenAI is around vectors. Right, so vectors are critical for customizing generative AI applications, right? So vectors are numeric representation of unstructured data. So data like text, images, audio, or even video data. So vectors are created from machine learning models, and they help us, capture that semantic meaning of the underlying data. Okay. And Amazon DocumentDB, which has MongoDB compatibility, it's a fully managed native JSON document database on AWS. It makes it easy, it's cost-effective to operate those critical workloads, and you can operate those workloads at virtually any scale without having to manage the infrastructure. Amazon DocumentDB last year announced that they support vector search. Okay, so this is a new capability that enables you to store, to index, search, so you can search millions of vectors with millisecond response times. So vector search for Amazon DocumentDB can store vectors for Amazon Bedrock. It can store vectors for Amazon SageMaker and many more. And with vector search for Amazon DocumentDB, you can simply set it up, operate, and scale databases for your machine learning, including GenAI-enabled applications. So you no longer have to spend the time managing, separate vector infrastructure, writing code to connect to another service, duplicating data from your search database. Right? So the vector search capability, together with large language models or LLMs, they enable you to search the database based on meaning. So you can unblock a wide variety of use cases, right? So we can unblock use cases like semantic search, product recommendations, personalizations, and chatbots, right? And that's just to name a few. So vector search for Amazon DocumentDB is available on 5.0 instance-based clusters in all regions where DocumentDB is available. All right, we also announced the general availability of the vector engine for Amazon OpenSearch serverless. Right, so vector engine for OpenSearch serverless is also a simple, scalable, and highly performing vector database for OpenSearch, right? So it makes it easier for developers to build those machine learning augmented search experiences, as well as those GenAI applications without having to manage the underlying vector database infrastructure, right? And another, still on vectors, another launch of a service that supports vectors is Amazon MemoryDB for Redis. So MemoryDB for Redis is a durable in-memory database. It has microsecond reads and low single-digit millisecond writes with scalability and enterprise security. And Amazon MemoryDB also supports vector search, and this feature is available in preview, right? So it's also a new capability that enables you to store, to index, and to search for your vectors, right? So the next session then I want to talk about covers the launches that helps developers build on AWS, right? But before I move on to the next session, I just want to pause right there just to see if there's any questions so far, any comments. All right. All right, then let's carry on. So just close the chat window. All right, so I mentioned the next section where we're going to talk about launches that help developers build on AWS. And the first developer tools announcement is the general availability of Application Composer in VS Code, right? So this is available as part of the AWS toolkit. So you can use AWS Application Composer's drag and drop interface. You can use it to create application design from scratch, and you can also import an existing application definition, and then you can edit it within the Application Composer. So the availability of Application Composer in the AWS toolkit, right? It enables you to quickly iterate your application's logic as well as its infrastructure. So you can drag, you can drop, and you can connect your AWS services into an application architecture by using its visual canvas, and it provides default configuration and integration for a set of enhanced components. Right? So you can also use GenAI code suggestions to quickly get started with any of CloudFormation's over 1,000 resources, right? So your entire development cycle will be simplified, and it will be expedited by instantly visualizing the changes in your template. And you'll do all this while staying in the context of your Visual Studio Code IDE. So visualizing your application architecture, it also helps you better understand the relationships between your application services, between the components that are used throughout your application services, right? And it also helps identify the gaps as well as the areas of improvements for your applications. All right, so the next announcement is the AWS Generative AI Constructs Library. So this is an open source extension of the AWS Cloud Development Kit, or the CDK. So this provides that multi-service, well-architected patterns for quickly defining solutions in code to create those predictable and repeatable infrastructure, and those are called constructs. Right? So the goal of AWS GenAI CDK constructs is to help developers build the GenAI applications using the pattern-based definitions for the architecture, right? So the patterns defined here have default configurations that are based on well-architected best practices. We also announced the general availability of AWS SDK for Rust as well as Kotlin. So customers can now use these for production workloads, right? So the SDK for Rust, it empowers developers to interact with AWS services and enjoy the APIs that follow the Rust idioms as well as the best practices for Rust. And the AWS SDK for Kotlin has also been designed from the ground up to give you an idiomatic Kotlin experience. And as I mentioned, we can use both of these for your production workloads to interact with the AWS environment. Right, and then we also have two new announcements for AWS Step Functions, okay? So the first announcement for AWS Step Functions is the support for the HTTPS endpoints, as well as a new test state API. So with the support for HTTPS endpoints, you can integrate with virtually any SaaS application directly from your workloads. And then with the new test state API, you can also test a single step in your workflow to accelerate your development. And we also launched optimized integrations for Amazon Bedrock. And this makes it easier to integrate your generative AI capabilities into your step functions workflows. All right, the next announcement is the new and improved Amazon SageMaker Studio. Okay, so the SageMaker Studio, it offers a suite of IDEs now. So the first IDE it offers is a code editor, and it's based on Visual Studio Code open source, right? And then there's another one which is based on the improved and faster Jupyter Lab, as well as another one based on RStudio. So machine learning practitioners can now choose their preferred IDE to accelerate their machine learning development. For an example, a data scientist could use Jupyter Lab for training jobs in Studio to explore the data as well as to fine-tune their models. While a machine learning operations engineer could also choose maybe the code editor as well as the pipeline tools in Studio to deploy and monitor their models in production. So IDE will open in a separate tab, allowing you to work with a full screen experience. And additionally, right, you can now view your training jobs, including jobs that maybe you may have scheduled from notebooks or training jobs that maybe you initiated from Amazon Jumpstart. You can also be able to view this within the studio. Okay, and we also announced a new interactive experience in SageMaker Studio to deploy your models with optimal configurations in as little as 3 clicks. Okay, so you can also now monitor and manage your endpoints in Studio without actually having to navigate to the AWS console to monitor your endpoints, right? And SageMaker Studio also comes with an improved jumpstart experience, and so it's now much easier to discover, to import, fine-tune, and deploy a foundational model with just a few clicks. Okay, are there any questions around those announcements for the developer tools?
There's no question yet, but if anybody wanted to ask questions, please do. But we can carry on.
Yeah, okay, awesome. Thanks. Yeah, as I mentioned, please feel free to interrupt, unmute, and ask away, or you can pop a message in the chat, no problem. All right, so the next session will cover some launches around CI/CD as well as DevOps. And the first announcement in this section is the general availability of a suite of machine learning powered log analytics capabilities within CloudWatch. So these include automated log pattern analysis as well as anomaly detection. So using these new capabilities, you'll be able to easily interpret your logs, to identify any unusual events, as well as to use these insights to steer and accelerate your investigations into any issues that may occur. And then Amazon CloudWatch application signals was also announced as a new capability. Okay, so it's designed to simplify the process of instrumenting and operating applications on AWS. And this feature, it builds on our experience with working with hundreds of customers and thousands of applications, running on AWS, right? And it provides an automated way to instrument applications based on best practices for application performance. So with this feature, there's no need for manual effort or custom code or custom dashboards. Right? And application signals offer a comprehensive view of application performance by integrating additional performance signals from CloudWatch synthetics. And it also monitors critical APIs as well as those user interactions. And it also includes CloudWatch RAM, which monitors the real user performance. So Secrets Manager, AWS Secrets Manager helps you manage and retrieve and rotate database credentials, APIs, and other secrets throughout their lifecycle. So it also now supports a single API call to identify and retrieve a group of secrets for your applications. So the new API, which is called Batch Get Secrets Value, it offers greater simplicity to common developer workflows where you need to bring multiple secrets into your application. And with this feature, you no longer have to make iterative calls to retrieve one secret at a time, and you also don't have to account for those partial failures when you pull in maybe multiple secrets, right? So this enhances that overall efficiency with working with your secrets. Another announcement is around Amazon Inspector. So Amazon Inspector code scanning for AWS Lambda functions, it also now includes assisted code remediations using GenAI and automated reasoning. So Amazon Inspector code remediation for Lambda function provides an in-context code patches, right? So this is for multiple classes of vulnerabilities that are detected during security scans for your Lambda functions, right? So it extends Amazon Inspector's capabilities to assess custom proprietary Lambda code for those security issues. So issues like maybe injection flaws, data leaks, weak cryptography, or maybe in missing encryption based on AWS security best practices. So upon discovering the vulnerabilities, Inspector then provides those actionable security findings. Right? So this will include affected code snippets as well as suggestions on how to remediate those findings. And as part of supported findings, it will also provide maybe code patches associated with those vulnerabilities. And this will simplify the process of updating vulnerable code for all your applications. Amazon Inspector also now integrates with the leading developer tools like Jenkins, TeamCity, right, for container image assessments. Right? So this integration allows developers to assess their container images for software vulnerabilities. And you can do this within your continuous integration and continuous delivery pipelines. And this means that you can push the security much earlier in your software development lifecycle. Right? So assessment findings are conveniently available within the CI/CD tools that you are using. Right? So you can view the dashboard and you can see the assessment findings. And this allows developers to take automated actions in response to these critical security issues. Right? So issues such as blocking builds, or image pushes to your container registries. Another Amazon Inspector announcement is the agentless vulnerability assessment for Amazon EC2, which is now also available in preview. So the Amazon Inspector now offers continuous monitoring for your Amazon EC2 instances for software vulnerabilities. And this is now done without actually having to install an agent or any additional software on your EC2 instances. So currently, before this announcement, Amazon Inspector uses the widely deployed AWS Systems Manager agent, or the SSM agent for short. And this agent assesses your EC2 instances for third-party software vulnerabilities, right? So with this new capability, you can expand your vulnerability assessment coverage across all your EC2 instance infrastructure with Amazon Inspector Agentless, right? So it will scan for EC2 instances that do not have the agents installed or configured. And for agentless scanning, Amazon Inspector takes snapshots for your EBS volumes to collect software application inventory, right? So it collects this inventory from the instances, and then it performs the vulnerability assessment. Once you enable EC2 scanning within Amazon Inspector, it will automatically discover all your EC2 instances, and then it will automatically start evaluating them for software vulnerabilities. All right, so AWS GuardDuty is also it's a security monitoring service that helps detect and respond to these threats in real time. And for GuardDuty, we announced two new features. And the first feature is the ECS runtime monitoring. And this feature extends on GuardDuty's monitoring capabilities to containerized applications running on Amazon Elastic Container Service, or ECS. So this feature, customers can now monitor the ECS clusters for security threats and retrieve alerts when suspicious activity is detected. The second feature that we announced is the Fargate runtime monitoring, right? So this feature provides a runtime monitoring for containers running on AWS Fargate, which is a serverless compute engine for containers. So this feature, customers can monitor their Fargate tasks for security threats and retrieve alerts when suspicious activity is detected. So both of these features are designed to help customers improve their security posture for their containerized applications, as well as protect against threats of any unauthorized access, malware, or any data breaches. Additionally, we also announced a preview of GuardDuty for Amazon EC2, which will allow customers to monitor their EC2 instances for security threats. Right? So this feature will provide that real-time threat detection and response capabilities for your EC2 instances, and this will help customers to quickly identify and respond to security incidents. So all three of these features are part of AWS GuardDuty's efforts to provide that comprehensive security monitoring, threat detection capabilities for all AWS customers. And then lastly, in this section, we're going to talk about the AWS Identity and Access Management, or IAM Access Analyzer, right? And this is a service that helps customers analyze and optimize their IAM policies. So we announced new features, so two new features for Access Analyzer, and the first feature is the custom policy check. So this feature allows customers to define custom policies for Access Analyzer to check. So this feature, you can specify specific policy conditions that you want to evaluate, such as maybe allowed permissions or what are the denied permissions, right? And once you've done that, Access Analyzer will then check those conditions against the customer's IAM policies. And this feature then helps customers identify potential issues with their policies, as well as ensure that they are meeting the desired security requirements. The second feature is inspecting unused access. So similarly to inspecting against defined policies, you can also inspect for unused access. So this feature it will help you identify unused access within your IAM policies. So you scan your policies and identify any resources or permissions that are not being used, and it will help provide recommendations for removing those unused access privileges, right? And this feature helps customers clean up their policies and remove unnecessary access, reducing the risk of security breaches. Any questions so far? Okay, so the next feature we're going to talk about in the next section we're going to cover is around systems management as well as cloud operations. And the first announcement in this section is two new features that are related to billing and cost management. right? So the first feature is unified billing and cost management console. And this feature provides a single console for managing AWS costs across multiple accounts, multiple regions, as well as different services. So it allows users to track costs, allocate expenses, and optimize spending across the organization. So the console also provides detailed cost estimates, usage reports, as well as budget tracking. The second feature is the cost usage dashboard within Amazon QuickSight. Now, this feature allows you to visualize and analyze your AWS costs and usage data in a centralized location. So the dashboard provides a real-time data and insights, enabling you to identify trends, optimize resources, and make informed decisions about your AWS spend. Right? So you can also create custom dashboards and reports to meet your specific needs. We also announced the general availability of my applications. So this is a new experience in the AWS Management Console, and it makes it easier for you to manage and monitor the cost, health, security posture, and performance of your applications. Now you can create your applications more easily, and you can see your applications in AWS account from a single view within the AWS Management Console. So it gives you at a glance view of the key application metrics, right? So metrics like cost, performance, security findings, right? And this will help you debug your operational issues, and you can optimize your applications. And you can also act on specific application resources with one click from the application dashboard using the corresponding AWS service. Right? So services such as AWS Cost Explorer for cost, maybe AWS Security Hub for security findings, or Amazon CloudWatch application signals for your application performance issues. We also announced the Get Free Tier Usage API, right? And this is a new feature in AWS that allows developers to programmatically retrieve the usage data for their free tier resources. So this API provides a granular usage data. It enables developers to track and to optimize the usage of the free tier resources. And with this API, developers can efficiently manage their resources and avoid going over the free tier limits, resulting in cost savings. Amazon CloudWatch Logs has also introduced a new log class called infrequent access, right? And this helps optimize storage costs for storing your log files, right? And these are the files that are accessed less frequently in a separate, maybe lower tier cost storage tier, right? And this new log class is designed to help customers save money on storage costs by only paying for the storage capacity they need while maintaining easy access for the infrequently accessed logs. Right? And with this new log class, customers can now store and manage their logs in a more cost-efficient manner. All right? And you can do all of this without sacrificing the ability to quickly retrieve and analyze the logs whenever you need to. All right, so another announcement is around AWS Systems Manager. So Systems Manager introduced a new feature called Automation Author Runbooks. Now, this enables developers to create and manage runbooks that automate repetitive tasks as well as workflows. So runbooks are collections of predefined steps that can be executed in a specific order to perform a specific task. So with this new feature, developers can create and share runbooks across the organization, improving productivity and consistency. So the runbooks can be triggered by events, scheduled at regular intervals, or executed manually. And this feature helps reduce errors, increase efficiency, and enable DevOps practices by automating routine tasks as well as workflows. Any questions so far? Okay, so the next session I'm going to cover, I'm going to touch on a few storage announcements that help the builders build on AWS, right? And the first storage announcement is the Amazon S3 Express One Zone Storage class. So the Amazon S3 Express One Zone Storage class is a purpose-built to deliver the fastest cloud object storage, right, for performance-critical applications. So these are applications that demand consistent single-digit millisecond request latency. So S3 Express One Zone can improve data access speeds by up to 10 times and can reduce, request costs by up to 50% compared to S3 standard class. It enables workloads such as machine learning training. You can use it for interactive analytics, media content creation, right? You can use it virtually for any workload to achieve single-digit millisecond data access. So it'll give you those single-digit millisecond data access speeds with high durability as well as high availability. We also announced a mount point for Amazon S3, and this is an open source file client that you can mount an S3 bucket on your compute instances to access it as a local file system. So what this mount point does is that it automatically translates local file system API calls to REST API calls for your Amazon S3 objects. So you can now use mount point also for Amazon S3 to access objects stored in the new Amazon S3 Express 1.0 storage class that I just mentioned. Right? So you can interact with the storage class using your normal file system operations. Next on storage is Amazon EFS or Amazon Elastic File System. And there we also announced two new features, right? The first feature is the archive storage class. So this is a new storage class that offers lower price point for infrequently accessed files and is ideal for archiving purposes. This new class is designed to store large amounts of data at a lower cost. It does this while providing the same level of durability and availability as other Amazon EFS storage classes. And in addition, as part of this launch, the storage price for the existing Amazon EFS infrequent access, right, is being reduced by 36% to make EFS even a better solution for sharing a wide range of data. The next feature is the 250,000 IOPS per file system. Now, Amazon EFS has increased the maximum number of input and output operations per second, or IOPS, that can be provisioned for a file system, right? So this increased from 100,000 to 250,000. So this increase allows for faster performance. It allows for higher throughput for applications that require heavy read and write operations. We also had announcements around AWS backup, and there were two announcements for backup, right? The first announcement is the Elastic Block Store Snapshots Archive. Now, AWS Backup now supports EBS Snapshots Archive, and this allows customers to automatically move their EBS snapshots that were created by AWS Backup. You can now move them to EBS Snapshots Archive. Now, EBS Snapshots Archive is a low-cost, long-term storage tier that's meant for your rarely accessed snapshots that do not need frequent or fast retrieval, and it enables you to save up to 75% on your storage costs for your snapshots. The second feature is the restore testing. Now, AWS Backup provides restore testing, which is a new capability that helps perform that automated and periodic restore tests of supported AWS resources that have been backed up by AWS Backup. Right? So it enables you to verify the integrity of your backups and ensure that your data can be successfully restored whenever the need arises. So this feature allows you to test the restores of individual files, folders, or even entire volumes. And it gives that peace of mind that your data is safe and that it's recoverable in case of an outage or a data loss event. Any questions around the storage changes? Okay, so in the next section, we're going to cover some of the latest database launches that make it easier for builders to create, manage, and scale.
There's a question. Okay. There's a question that says, how do we access recording videos? We're gonna post it on our YouTube shortly, both part 1 and part 2. So you should be expecting it by next week, end of next week. Thank you. You can continue.
Awesome. Thanks for that. Okay, great. So as I mentioned, the next session, we're going to cover the latest database launches that make it easier for builders to create, manage, and scale the database. And the first announcement here is the Amazon Aurora Limitless Database. And this enables you to scale your Amazon Aurora clusters to millions of write transactions per second to manage petabytes of data. So this new capability, you can scale your relational database workloads on Aurora beyond the limits of a single Aurora writer instance without needing to create custom application logic or manage multiple databases. It provides a serverless endpoint that automatically distributes data and queries across multiple Amazon Aurora serverless instances. And it does this while maintaining the transactional consistency of a single database. So Aurora Limitless database also offers that capability, like distributed query planning as well as transaction management. And this eliminates the need for you to create custom solutions or the need to manage multiple databases to scale. So as your workload increases, Aurora Limitless database adds additional compute resources while staying within your specified budget. So there's no need to provision for peak, right? And compute will automatically scale up or down according to the demand, okay? We also announced the general availability of Amazon ElastiCache serverless. So this is a new serverless option for Amazon ElastiCache, and it simplifies cache management and instantly scales to support the most demanding applications. So with ElastiCache serverless, you can create a highly available and scalable cache in less than a minute, and this eliminates the need for you to plan, to provision, to manage cache clusters, to manage infrastructure as well as the capacity. So ElastiCache serverless automatically stores data redundantly across multiple availability zones, and it provides 99.99 availability service level agreement or SLA. And you only pay for the data stored and the compute resources consumed by your workloads, and there's no upfront commitment or additional costs. Now, in part one of this recap, you heard about Amazon Q, right, which is a generative AI-powered assistant designed for work that can be tailored to your business. Now, Amazon Redshift introduces Amazon Q Generative SQL in Amazon Redshift Query Editor. So this is an out-of-the-box web-based SQL editor for Amazon Redshift. So it will simplify query authoring and increase your productivity, right? And it does this by allowing you to express queries in natural language, and then once you express your queries in natural language, you can receive SQL code recommendations. And further to this, it also allows you to get insights faster without extensive knowledge of your application's complex database metadata. We also announced 3 new zero-ETL integrations for our database services. The first one is Amazon Aurora Postgres zero-ETL integration with Redshift. So this integration allows customers to easily transfer data from Amazon Aurora Postgres SQL to Redshift, eliminating the need for manual data processing or transformation. The second one is the Amazon RDS MySQL zero-ETL integration with Amazon Redshift. So similar to the previous integration, this one allows customers to transfer data from RDS MySQL to Redshift without the need for ETL processing. And the third one is the Amazon DynamoDB zero-ETL with Redshift. So similar to the others, this integration enables customers to directly transfer data from DynamoDB to Redshift, again, eliminating the need for manual data processing or transformation. So all 3 integrations are now available in public preview. We also announced 3 new zero-ETL integrations for our analytics services. So this is on top of our database services, right? And the first one is Amazon OpenSearch zero-ETL integration with Amazon S3. Now, this integration allows customers to easily transfer data from Amazon S3 to OpenSearch, eliminating the need for manual data processing and transformation. The second one is Amazon DynamoDB zero-ETL with Amazon OpenSearch service. So this integration enables customers to transfer data from DynamoDB to OpenSearch without the need for ETL processing. And the third one is the AWS CloudTrail Lake zero-ETL analysis with Athena. So this feature or this integration allows customers to analyze data from their CloudTrail Lake using Athena without the need for manual data processing and transformation. Any questions so far? All right, so the next section, and this is the last section, right? So this section covers launches that help builders build on AWS. So these are the 2 other launches that I wanted to touch on, right? The first one is Project Kuiper, right? So Project Kuiper is a new initiative by Amazon, and it aims to provide fast, reliable, and affordable internet connectivity to communities around the world. So the project involves launching, a constellation of low Earth orbit satellites that will provide high-speed internet access to these communities. So the satellites will use advanced technologies, right, like carbon frequencies and optical inter-satellite links to offer speeds of up to 1 gigabit per second. So the project aims to bridge the digital divide and support education, healthcare, and economic development in remote as well as rural areas. And so we plan to partner with local governments, schools, and community organizations to deliver the service and make it accessible to everyone. And the last announcement for today is Party Rock. Right? So Party Rock is an Amazon Bedrock playground. So it's a fun and intuitive, hands-on, shareable generative AI application building tool. Now with Party Rock, builders made tens of thousands of AI-powered apps, right? And they did this in just a matter of days, right? So within a few days from Party Rock's launch, there were thousands and tens of thousands of generative AI-powered applications. And they shared these applications on social media using single-step tools from within the playground. Another announcement for Party Rock was the new Discover page for Party Rock, right, where top community-created apps will be curated by AWS. So the page will showcase what Party Rock users are building, and it will help others, to get hands-on by providing a central resource for inspiration as well as discovery. So here you will find some of the most viewed, some of the most remixed or snapshotted applications, right? And these applications will then be curated by Party Rock employees. So these include those that they found particularly amusing or particularly helpful for understanding key generative AI concepts. So everybody can learn to build generative AI-powered applications with Party Rock, which is an Amazon Bedrock playground. Any questions? All right.
Just to be the Party Rock, just how people can benefit from.
Sorry, Akim, I didn't get that.
I said, can you give a little bit more explanation about the Party Rock from AWS, how businesses or people can benefit from it?
Sorry, are you breaking up, Akim? I'm really struggling to hear you.
Oh, you can hear me? Can you hear me? Yeah. Oh, it's okay.
While I think Kim is trying to
I'm
reconnect.
gonna type it. Let me type it.
Okay, that is fine. Can everybody still hear me okay?
It looks like you've never
Very well, very well. We can hear you very well. Clearly.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much.
Or maybe
I have one more ask, right, before we close off the session. At AWS, we thrive on customer feedback, right? And we use this feedback to continuously improve our talks. So please, if you could just fill in this short survey, right? I think it's like 5 or 6 questions. If you can just please fill it in, it will be greatly appreciated. Just to give a brief feedback of how you found this session. Oh, I see there's a question here for me to give more details for Party Rock. So the details, are you looking for maybe the link to start exploring with Party Rock? Or is it just to understand in detail how the service works? Oh, so how companies? So I see.
Yeah, like use case scenario, like companies that can benefit, and use it use case scenario of where it's being.
Oh yeah, So Amazon Party Rock, right? It's one of those learning services, right, that we have at AWS. So similar to AWS Deep Racer, where you learn how to build machine learning models to drive autonomous cars, or to drive the cars autonomously rather. Party Rock is an Amazon Bedrock program. So Amazon Bedrock is our service for generative AI. Right. So there's a number of generative AI models that you can use with Amazon Bedrock. Okay. And then you can use those services to build Gen AI powered applications within your environment. Right. So you can fine tune the models, because you can bring in your own data. Right. So those Gen AI models always work better with your data as a customer. You can bring your data, fine tune those Bedrock models, and then you can build Gen AI powered applications, right? So that's Amazon Bedrock, and Party Rock is a playground, right? It allows you to build those applications, right? And to use the Gen AI, models or the large language models within Amazon Bedrock, to use it to build applications. It could be for fun, it could be, an application that you can use within your organization to power up any scenarios or any use cases, essentially.
Thank you.
I'm going to share also the link for Party Rock, just to see how you can get started with Party Rock. Right? So you can build an app in Party Rock with the drag and drop feature, and you can choose the LLMs that you want to use and what you want the app to output, right?
Awesome. Very good.
Awesome. Any other questions?
Anyone has any questions? Please say this is to ask question now. When you have please, any question you want, feel free.
Yes, please. I'd like this to be as interactive as possible.
So while we're waiting for questions to flow, we can some time, only a few minutes for people to post questions. But in the meantime, we got good questions for lucky winner. Someone to win AWS credits. So if you're with us, with me. In the meantime,
Please, we can't hear you very well. The
oh,
audio
you
from
can
there is cracking seriously.
how about now? How about now? Can you guys see him? Or it's still breaking? Maybe it's my network.
Yeah, beautiful. Very clear now. Very clear.
Okay. So what I'm saying is, please post your question in so that Logan can help you answer the question. This is the time. If you wanted to post any questions, this is the time. But in the meantime, we're gonna post some question for lucky win to win AWS credits. So just look out for those questions shortly. But meanwhile, if you have any question, please do not hesitate to post those questions in the chat.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much all for your time. And if you haven't filled in the survey, please do so. It's really a short survey. It will be much appreciated. Thank you all so much.
I'm gonna post the first questions. So the first person to answer the questions win the credit. Come on, guys, give it a shot. Okay, Richard won the credits. Congratulations, Richard. Look at somebody post question in the chat room. It says, I'm currently learning AWS with scholarship from. What advice can you give me on a path to become a solution architect? Do you want to, how did that look at the question from Emmanuel?
Oh yes, I'm looking at that now. I'm actually I'm gonna share a learning path, right? So at AWS, we have a number of learning paths, right? Whether you want to be a data engineer, or we want to be a solution architect. There's learning paths that are curated by the training and certification team within AWS, right? And it gives you a number of courses, some courses, virtual courses, some just maybe videos via Skills Builder, and when, to take the exam to get certified as a solution architect and so forth, right? So that'll help you a lot in your journey to becoming an AWS certified solutions architect. Right, and I'm just gonna get the link for that now, and I'm gonna share that, or I'm gonna share the PDF rather. Just give me 1 second.
All right, so another question is coming up. Another question is coming up. Another question is coming up. So guys, if you won already, you're not gonna win this. So let somebody else win. All right.
But while you're typing the question, Akim, I've just pasted the PDF. So this is a ramp-up guide to becoming a solution architect.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
You'll see it's got some recommended courses, digital courses, a classroom training. And if you go through that, I think I'll show you by the end of this, you'll be a great AWS solution architect.
Nice. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Hopefully, we'll share this in the group chat as well. All right. Next question, guys. Ready? I hope you guys are not using AI.
That's a good one.
I don't like people are not using AI to answer the question. It takes them a little bit to answer. All right. So who's the lucky winner? Let me see. Fastest fingers. Okay. Neff. Oh, Neff won last time too. Oh, you won again. You won again. Okay. All right. So Naf won. Congratulations, Naf. You won. All right, now spending your credits. Congratulations. All right, so let me throw in one more questions. That would be, I will just collect that person's email and I will send the credits to that person shortly, maybe by Tuesday or Monday. All right, so let's find one more questions. All right. I want to see if somebody will be able to get this one. Hold on. Oh, Logan, do you want to throw in some questions?
Okay, is the question you typing?
Okay, do you want to give one?
No, it's fine. You can go ahead. You can go
Okay.
ahead.
All
You
right.
seem to be coming up with great questions.
Yeah, I'm trying to come up with some questions that
I'm loving your questions.
I tried to come up with some questions. All right, posting our questions in there. People are paying attention to this one. Simon was like, I gotta win this one this time. All right. All right, Simon, you won. Please provide me your email. Good job.
That's a nice one.
Congratulations. All right. That was the fastest finger. So Simon, send me your email so I can send you your AWS credits. All right. So did anybody has any other questions?
Good afternoon from Nigeria.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, I was asking for the WhatsApp group link. And if the presenter can share his LinkedIn profile link, again, we would really appreciate
I think
I didn't hear that.
yeah, it was kind of low, but it was asking if the presenter, if I'm correct, share the will
that. Okay,
share.
I said if we can get the group link, WhatsApp group link, and if the presenter can be so kind as to share his LinkedIn link, profile link, would appreciate it.
Let me resend it again. I shared it earlier, but I will send his link again. Hold on.
Yeah, I think Akim did share the link. I'm also happy to share the slides presented. Maybe I can send them to you, Akim, and then you
Okay.
can share them.
Thank you. That will be helpful. Thank you. And I can post it.
Okay, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, please, I kind of have a question to ask because you mentioned when I actually posted a question about giving me a DevOps job. You talk about modifying my LinkedIn profile. So I think I've done that, and I actually in my LinkedIn profile I included Nigeria because that's where I am. Like I don't have to lie and. So, but there are no recruiter is reaching out to me and stuff like that. I think I've done every modification I have to do. But so can you please just help me out to know what to do next?
Okay, yeah, happy to help. Maybe you can share your profile. My LinkedIn link, Akim just shared it. You can just send me a direct message there. And then I'll have a look at your profile and I'm happy to give you a few suggestions.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. I really appreciate that.
Not a problem.
Thank you, Luca, for doing this. All right. So, did anybody has any other questions?